Oh, hello there. Very nice to see you. How are you? Happy New Year. 2019. Good grief. I am very old now. That's nice. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas period and a great Boxing Day and a lovely New Year and the New Year's Eve and the New Year's Day, the whole thing, and then the several day hangover, and now here we are on the 12th night of Christmas. It's Saturday the 5th of January 2019, and you know what that means. It's time to bring the tree down and all the Christmas decorations, because as everybody knows, if you don't get rid of all decorations and all hints of it having been a festive Christmassy period by tonight, then you are cursed with 7 years bad sex. I think that's the law. Pretty sure that's the law. So, good. Mine's already in the recycling bin. What can I say? Absolutely stuffed myself over the festive period. I hope you all did too. New Year, which means, of course, it's time for me to find a new job, because every year I get a new job, because why would you do anything for longer than a year? Or, 7 or 8 months even. Just quit. Just stop doing it. Find something new. Always keep moving forward. I think that's it's probably a good rule for life. But to that end, I did mention in the previous video that I would have some Patreon exclusive videos that I would be putting up on YouTube for general public consumption to my loyal, close, personal 8,130 something friends, disciples, followers, you guys. It's all for you. So yes, I've had a rummage through the old Patreon exclusive box, and I've come up with, on the subject of looking for a new job, a job centre roleplay. Now, for anyone in England, the UK, if job centre, you probably know what that is, but maybe in America you don't have... when people go on, I think you call it in the States welfare. The equivalent over here is called job seekers allowance, and you have to look for a job and go in every week or 2 weeks and prove that you have been looking for work. And so I thought that would be a fun role play to do. Really scraping the barrel with these Patreon exclusives, I know, but anyway, here it is, and have a lovely rest of the year, and I'll maybe see you later on. Bye for now. ASMR English Whispers. Oh, hi. Won't be a moment. Do you just want to wait there for just a second? I've just come back off my lunch break, and let's have a look here. You're here to get some income support, are you? Some free money from the government. Yes, okay, fine. Right, okay. Well then, okay, alright, fine. Do you just want to wait there while I get all of your paperwork in order, and then I'll deal with you. I'll see to you then. Just going to get this in order, make sure it's all in order. So Okay, right. Well, hi, and welcome to the job centre, and this is where you'll be coming every week to. We don't call it signing on anymore. We call it having a work focused review. So every week at 9 in the morning, you're going to come here and see me for your work focused review, and this is probably the longest that we're going to spend on it here today. The next meetings should only be about 10-15 minutes long. I'll just be asking you what you've done to look for work in that week, and then you'll tell me, and then we'll decide if we think that you've done enough. Just to warn you, if we don't think that you've done enough, we will be reducing your amount of income support by about £10, but I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine if you do what I tell you. So, okay, right, hi. Okie dokie. I'll just take you through the things here. So you've already filled in your preliminary application online, and that has resulted in a meeting, which is what you're at now. Here we are, and I know that you've filled in the questionnaire online, but I just have to double check everything with you and make sure that everything is, that your situation hasn't changed at all. I've just got some literature here for you, a couple of pamphlets. When getting this new benefit, universal credit, which is the old job seekers allowance and housing benefit rolled into one. So it's one simple monthly payment, which it's sort of like having a salary, so you can get used to the idea of managing your own finances, because I presume if you need income support, then you're not very good at managing your own finances. And so actually we've got a little pamphlet on managing your money there as well. So yeah, and it's like, good little tips, like work out how you'll cover your essential outgoings, which if you weren't doing that before, this teaches you how to do that. Essential outgoings could include your rent, your mortgage, council tax, utility bills, repayments on loans, credit cards, store cards, that kind of thing. It says here, if there's a risk that you'll fall behind with payments, don't bury your head in the sand. So it's full of useful advice like that you can just pop into your daily routine. Lenders, councils and landlords can work with you to manage repayments if you tell them as soon as there's a problem. So it's all about communication, yeah? It's just trying to get through your head that if you talk about your problems, then you can sort of, inspire yourself out of them. So, and there's stuff on here about, like, don't borrow money, think before you borrow. If you're tempted to borrow, think carefully about how you'll keep up with repayments. Basic stuff like that you can just work into your routine. But we can get to that. That's the need help managing your money pamphlet. And then I have got this little pink card here, which has got a phone number on it, which if you have any change of circumstance whatsoever, if you move house or if you get a job, if you die, anything like that, then just phone this number immediately and let them know so that they can. Now, in the old days, it was the case with the job seekers allowance that if you were in work for longer than 16 hours a week, your payments would be cut off. But now everything's changed because, to make it easier for you. So you for every, if you get a job, say, for every £1 that you earn, we reduce your payment by 65p. So it's not completely cut off. You just get a bit less, and then that inspires you to work more, you see. So any changes, call the number on the pink card. Now, right, let me see. I've got to ask you the questions that you filled in. I've just got to make sure that your circumstances haven't changed. So I'm just going to go through this. You can still walk and talk. You can, okay. So you're not unfit for work. No, okay. And you still speak just English. Great. And you're not a you're not a carer for someone at home. Okay. And you're ready and looking for work now. Great. And you're not receiving any other income support or incapacity benefits or anything like that? A personal independence payment, anything like that? No. Okay, fine. Right, a few more questions. So it's just basic stuff. I have to ask this. It's not, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just, are you happy? Well, I mean, you look fairly cheerful, but if I put down that you're not happy, then we can probably steer you into some kind of, we can, if we say that you're a bit depressed, then you might be able to get some kind of working tax credit or something like that. So if we steer you into, it's very simple. I would just mark down that you're not happy, and then it would ask why you're not happy, and then we could get you psychologically evaluated by one of our psych evaluators, and we could refer you for, medication treatment, and then you'd probably get some working tax credits for that. I'm just going to pop that down. Okay, fine. And I know that this is stupid. This is so stupid. I know, I can see. But you know how to use the internet, right? I'm just going to put down, I know you do, but I'm going to put down that you don't, because that way we can probably get you a few more, you can wring a bit more cash out of the Tories, and you can probably get some more money. They might even give you a computer to teach you how to use the internet. If you say you don't know how to use it, you could probably just get a computer. And are you homeless? You're not, I know, but I've got your address here, but if I put down that you're homeless, then we can get you into some council housing. The reason I'm doing it, I've got targets to meet as well, and I've got a certain quota to fill of, have I had this many disableds, or however many, this many mentally challenged, or this many homelessness, or however many of those. It's ticked on a sheet, and unfortunately everyone that I've had in has been perfectly healthy, so I need to up my numbers a bit, because I'm getting a bit behind. But so if I can just put you down for all of those. No? Well, you say no, but maybe I'll just do it when you've gone afterwards. So right, okay. The next step would be looking for work. Now, have you been looking for work? Okay. Where have you been looking for work? Right, you've been going to recruitment agencies and looking in shop windows, that kind of stuff. have you heard of Twitter? Because there's this thing online called Twitter, and I don't know where it came from, but it's a big job board. It's like everybody just advertises jobs on there. So I got this little pamphlet about how to look on Twitter for jobs. So it's a just go through what this form says. So if you can see how to look on Twitter for jobs, the first thing up there it says is, what is Twitter? Well, if you didn't know, Twitter is a free online service that allows both individuals and organisations to communicate with each other. And to remember how important communication was. We spoke about it earlier. You weren't listening, were you? To communicate with each other using short messages, 140 characters in length, about 40 words. And these are called tweets. Because the messages are so short, it allows the information to be shared very quickly. That's kind of a good thing, because, a lot of these jobs will just get snapped up like that, so you have to really be looking constantly for work. And we'll get to the bit in a moment. You have to look for work 35 hours each week and record yourself looking for work. Not on a video camera. I mean, you have to provide evidence that you've been looking for 35 hours a week. And if you don't do that, then we will reduce your benefits. But we'll get to that. So back to Twitter. You can find loads of advice and guides online. This is just what it says on the sheet, which I'm going to give to you anyway, so you can read it yourself in a moment. You can find loads of advice and guides online, and we tweet tons of advice on our accounts to get the most out of all professional social media channels. We put lots of jobs up, is basically our thing. It's quite popular. You should follow us and like it and retweet it. You'll learn what that is. In this guide, we'll look specifically at how you can use Twitter to help you get a job, which is why we're all here anyway, isn't it? So remember, you don't need to tweet to take advantage of the amazing content available. So you don't actually need to, what that's saying is you don't actually need to, generate content yourself, although there are companies out there that will pay for that kind of thing. Just as a thought, no? You don't even need to create an account. You can just go on the website and type in jobs and it'll come up there. You don't even need an email address, although you should get an email address because you might need one if you apply to any of the jobs online. They'll ask for an email address. It's kind of a necessity these days. Anyway, you can be completely anonymous and still access up-to-date information. It's just saying that you don't need to put any effort at all into making it work for you. So, how do I find jobs? Getting started is easy. So pull your finger out. Simply search online. That's what it says here. That's the advice, the official government advice for finding a job. Simply search online. You can just type in there. And don't worry if you haven't got internet access at home, it says here, because I assume you can get like a mail out or something of all the best tweet jobs, and they'll just, if you phone them up, then they can probably just send you the information on like a fortnightly newsletter through the letterbox, probably. Anyway, so what is an @? So there's a whole section here on this document about what the little. It's like an apple strudel. If you cut through it, it's got a little, like a strudel shape like that, and it's called an @. And you might have seen it on like a computer keyboard, or maybe a telephone. It's what that is. So, and again, this is just all the information that's on the sheet. So I'm just reading from the official government sheet. You're going to get this, but I've just got to go through this with you now, just to make sure that you've
got it. Yeah, I do have another appointment coming in quite soon, so we should probably just power through this, but just bear with me. So it's an is someone's name on Twitter, like @Stephen Fry or @Guardian Jobs. What is a hashtag? It's a way of grouping information together. I've actually never used a hashtag, so we can probably just skip over that part. It's fine. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, you can just have a read through all of this. It's very useful information, and so this is a photocopy of that, and we can again post this to you as well. Right, so 35 hours a week, you have to record the activities that you've done in looking for a job, right? So it can at first seem like a bit of a daunting task. 35 hours every week, that's about 6 or 7 hours every day looking for a job. Or you could just do, I suppose you could stay up for an entire 24-hour period and then another 11-hour period, like start at midnight on Thursday and finish at 11 a.m. on Friday every week, and then that'll just condense it down into like one day for you, and then you can have the rest of the week off if you wanted to. There are lots of ways to look for work and keep your job search productive. So you could look, for instance, in the newspaper. You could look on Twitter. You could make telephone calls. You could knock on doors and just ask someone if they've got like, what is it that you said that you did? Well, that sounds quite highly skilled. Have you ever considered manual labour? There are always manual labour jobs coming up. You could knock on doors and you could, do people's gutters, wash their windows, that kind of thing. It's not work to be sneered at. It's not work to be sneered at. Just a thought, anyway. You could look on job websites, which are on the internet, of course, and you just need to make a list and like take a screenshot and like print it out and get it like time-stamped so that you can show us and prove to us that you've been working to look for work. Does that make sense? And then we've got a website as well that you can log on, and it's called the Job Match website, and you can just go on there and look for jobs on there, and then we'll be able to see right into your home, and just keep an eye on you, basically make sure you're doing the thing. And here's a list of things for completing your job search record. We need a list of websites that you've been to. We need the dates that you went to those websites. If you've not applied for any jobs, we'll be able to see that, and you have to prove to us that they were unsuitable to you. A list of the newspapers that you've checked, the dates that you checked the newspapers, various companies that you might have approached, what dates did you make the contact, who were the names. We're going to chase you up on all this stuff so that you can't get out of it. And then names of people you've contacted, what positions they hold, anyone in your friends and family, social groups that could, maybe get you a job. And when applying for any job, you need to provide the company address, telephone number, and email address. And that's just, basic stuff for us to be able to check up on you. And at the end of it, we will then perform a credit search on you to make sure that you are eligible for receiving benefits. And then the first 13 days are unpaid, I think. The first 7 or 13 days you don't get any money, but then after 6 weeks you will start to see some money coming through, and that should be about £50. So that should be enough to tide you over, shouldn't it? So, why are you crying?